you offer some coffee?
Please, please. I'm sorry I'm late.
Oh, no sweat, man.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a good game Friday.
Yeah, it was.
You know, if we win 2 more games, we get home field advantage for the playoffs, right?
Yep.
So how's your week going?
Oh, not too bad. A couple of client meetings, running the kids to practice. How about you?
I'm doing the best I can. Can't you get off my back? Do I not bust my tail bringing in money for this family? What do you want from me? Jeez. What are you doing, you son of a...
I'm fine.
What do you have?
Probably stick with the usual.
Well, man, we've been on a journey in the past few sessions, unpacking both a man's relationship with his dad and a man's relationship with his mom. We talked about the importance of those relationships and the effects they can have on us. Today, I want to talk to you about the importance of a man's relationship with other men and how those relationships or the lack of them can affect a man. And we're going to introduce you to a different type of wound. A wound that is self-inflicted, called the all-alone wound. This wound characterizes a man who attempts to live life alone. He may have many acquaintances and casual friendships, but he lacks any character-shaping, deep, heart-level friendships, which we will call teammates. From the very beginning, our Creator designed life to be a team sport. Teammates in life are essential for us to become better men. However, every man has the potential to drift into isolation, which is a dangerous place for a man. I know this wound personally because I have had seasons in my life where I have attempted to isolate myself. Yet the older I become, the more I realize how critical teammates are. At this point, I simply can't imagine my life without my teammates. My best friend, Mike, has been an incredible teammate, helping me to handle the joys and the sorrows of life. My mentor, Dennis, has coached me as a man, husband, and father for over 10 years. There are many other men from my life, and time will not allow me to name all of them. But men, teammates provide the support that every man needs to win in life. You see, how well connected or disconnected a man is with other men has a lot to do with how he'll experience life. And there are 3 types of teammates that bless and energize authentic manhood. In fact, the quality of a man's life in many ways is tethered to these 3 relationships. More than just being an acquaintance. A teammate is someone that you can share a special heart-level bond with. Someone you can have gut-level honesty with. They have your back and believe in you no matter what. So let's take a look at these 3 empowering relationships that are essential for authentic manhood. 3 types of teammates. The first is the encouraging mentor. It's the ideal of having someone in your life who is a step ahead of you, who can offer you wisdom and guidance. Typically, this relationship occurs in the first half of a man's life, but it really can occur at any point in life. It's often a coach or a teacher or a special relative who may be even your employer. But it's someone who takes a special interest in you, notices your talents, and affirms both your abilities and you as a person. Encouraging mentors do more than just befriend you. They are committed to your development. They recognize your potential. Unlike others around you, somehow they see the best in you even when you can't see it yourself. They have a positive vision for your future. Your success becomes a genuine desire of their heart. Simply put, part of their life vision is to help you grow, develop, and succeed. An encouraging mentor is also someone whom you admire and respect. You value his opinion And he has a voice in your life, keeping you on the right track and developing your skills and character. I remember playing high school basketball, and after a poor play, my coach got in my face and called me out. He said, "Carter, you are better than this. You are getting outplayed, and I need you to step up." I went back in the game and looked like a different player. The game of life, every man needs a mentor to look into his heart and call out the best in him. Guys, an encouraging mentor is priceless. Second empowering relationship is a side-by-side teammate. This really should occur over the whole course of a man's life. Blessed is the man who has a few committed, long-life teammates. These are the men in your life with whom you can have a spoken or unspoken loyalty. These are the guys with whom you can share what's really going on in your life. They are a safe place. There's a pattern of authenticity and trust in your relationship. They love you unconditionally, but they also will speak truth to you when you need to hear it. They'll help you to walk through tough patches in life, even if it's exhausting. And they're willing to risk the friendship and intervene if you're on a pattern of self-destruction. They are true friends who are committed to your best. Unfortunately, today, we have created a category of so-called friendship where men can play golf together, be in a fantasy football league together, go to lunch every week together, but actually never talk about anything of true significance. You just kind of use each other for companionship, but you never truly engage at a heart level. Another temptation for guys is to always default to juvenile behavior when they get together. Professor Jeffrey Greif talks about this in his book, Buddy System. He says, some men remain stuck in an adolescent phase of friendship, one in which they never get beyond the interactions and activities they pursued with friends when they were younger. Too often for some men, an emotional regression occurs, which may be a defense against exploring other areas of relating on a deeper level. A true side-by-side teammate is more than just one of your buddies who shares the same hobbies as you. We're talking about character-shaping, burden-sharing relationships. We've said it before in other sessions, but you can't make the journey to authentic manhood alone. You must take the risk of creating these side-by-side friendships. Now, the third empowering relationship is the eager protege. Someone who is a step behind you in life, but who is eager to learn from you and your experiences. Someone whom you can develop and encourage. This relationship usually develops for a man during the second half of his life. Since you've had life experiences and you have developed skill sets and wisdom, now you can help guide others. You've experienced failure and success. You know the difficulties and joys of life. Now you have the opportunity to give back and invest in others. You can help energize and empower other men toward authentic manhood. You never really become a man yourself until you accept responsibility to help another man navigate through life. So those are the three relationships that keep a man connected, energized, and empowered. The encouraging mentor, the side-by-side teammate, and the eager protege. In biblical terms, we each need a Paul, a Barnabas, and a Timothy in our lives. Someone ahead of us who is a mentor, someone beside us who is an authentic teammate, and someone a step behind us whom we can develop and guide. Well, what happens if you haven't developed these types of relationships? This is when you get a guy with what we call the all-alone wound. The all-alone wound comes from the tendency of a man to live life outside of character-shaping relationships. It's the guy who knows everybody, but nobody knows him. He's really connected on social media, always on the phone, but nobody really knows what's going on in his life. Everybody is his acquaintance, but nobody is his friend. He chooses to live independently. He always trusts in his own brilliance, always defaults to what makes sense to him. He never leans into the wisdom of the community or potential mentors around him. The thought of even going to ask from others advice seems weak to him. This is the typical hard-headed man, always having to learn from pain and bad experiences. You see, wisdom is the ability to learn from the experiences of others without having to experience the consequences yourself. This guy refuses to listen. He can only learn by experiencing pain firsthand. Guys, here's what's interesting about the all alone wound. It's self-inflicted. You see, this wound is actually avoidable. It's not something you're born into, but a guy has to be willing to connect at a deeper level with other men. Let me give you a definition of the all alone wound. It's a social, emotional, and spiritual loss caused by the lack of healthy male teammates. The all alone wound is an epidemic among men. Now, friendship in general is on the decline. According to Robert Putnam, author of Bowling Alone, people are more and more disconnected from one another, less apt to know their neighbors, and less involved in community events. One recent study found that over the last 20 years, the number of people saying there is no one with whom they can discuss important matters nearly tripled. Fellas, the problem is even worse for men. Listen to how Professor Michael McGill, who has conducted extensive research on male relationships, describes male friendships. To say that men have no intimate friends seems on the surface too harsh. It raises quick objections from most men. The data indicate that it is not far from the truth. Even the most intimate of male friendships, of which there are very few, rarely approach the depth of disclosure a woman commonly has with many other women. 1 man in 10 has a friend with whom he discusses work, money, and marriage. Only 1 in more than 20 has a friendship where he discloses his feelings about himself. Guys, he's describing the typical friendless male. Maybe busy, maybe active, maybe even very prosperous, but all alone. Today, we are more wired and networked than ever before. But tragically, most men are never truly known. Well, what are some of the common consequences of the all alone wound? Let's talk about 3 downsides of choosing to live life outside of authentic relationships. First, if we choose to live life alone, we're going to have a warped perspective on life. Self-deceit comes about from being disconnected. The Bible speaks to this issue. For example, Proverbs 14:12 says that there is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way to death. The point of this proverb is that when we are alone, we can talk ourselves into anything. Guys, it's amazing what we can become convinced of on our own. You see, others bring a more objective and balanced view of reality. They can help us to see our blind spots. Here's a principle you can live by. You don't have an accurate picture of yourself. And to get an accurate picture of yourself, you need feedback from trusted teammates. Here's the second downside of choosing to live alone. There is a potential for careless living and foolish choices. Proverbs 18:1 gives this warning. Whoever isolates himself seeks his own desire. He breaks out against sound judgment. You see, when you get out of the pack of trusted teammates, you can easily fall prey to all kinds of dangers. The fact is that when you are surrounded by other men who are pursuing the noble pathways of life with you, you are more motivated to pursue authentic manhood yourself. When you see another man take his wife on an incredible date. It makes you want to love your wife better. When you watch another man actively involved in his kids' lives, it inspires you to invest in your kids. When you see a man go to war against materialism and use his money to expand God's kingdom instead of his own, it gives you the courage to invest eternally. In the company of godly friends, there's a greater motivation for the noble things of life. But what happens when you don't have teammates and don't have the company of noble men? Not having a teammate that's just a phone call away makes it easy for the standard to get lowered, and the potential for careless living and foolish choices goes up. If you've traveled, you felt this. You're on a business trip. You are all alone. No one in that airport or hotel bar or hotel room knows you. And you feel the tug of evil in that moment. We've all felt it. I can do this and no one would know. In that moment, isolation can get the best of us. There's a reason the Bible says that the devil prowls around like a roaring lion seeking someone to devour. Because when we are regularly alone, we lose that incredible asset called accountability. And we end up doing things that we later confess. I can't believe I did that. You see, the path leading to foolish decisions is often aloneness. Finally, if you choose to live alone, you'll lose